So I'm working on the decking, the rear decking, now that I've got my ski pylon structure kind of figured out. I'm still considering polishing all that, but so you can see the pylon, and what I'm working on right now is this, kind of getting this piece. You can see I have a cross member piece there because the plans typically would have just a piece going all the way back to here, but obviously I can't do that with my pylon there. And so this is the way I'm doing it anyway. So I'm gonna have this piece of wood that's here will allow me to, well, remember there's gonna be decking going through. This is just a spacer, but it would be roughly this thickness by the time I have the plywood and then the finished decking. And then that'll allow me to use these two screw holes and kind of screw down into that. And on the front side here, the way that I've got this notched, the reason I notched that is so I can get a wrench on this after the boat is built. My plan is actually to occasionally just check to make sure these are tight. I'll have to crawl into there and do that. So I wanted to have room here so I could get to this bolt. That's why I notched that out. But I wanted it to go back so I can use these screw holes and screw down into there. Now remember, there'll be decking on top of this. So what I'm working on right now is I need a little bit of a spacer here. So I'm trying to get the same angle, relative angle of like this piece. You can see that's 1.5 degrees, and I think now it's 1.5. So I need that much of a spacer, so I've got to make something to fit in there. But then also what I'm wanting to do, so that's supposed to be 1.5 degrees slight slope downward, and that's 0.4 degrees up. So it's almost a 2-degree difference, and I really would like that top part of that pylon to be basically flush with the deck. So that means I need to angle it this way a little bit. And the way I'm going to try to do that is where this is mounted. Let's see if I can get to it over here. So the way this is mounted down here is, let's see if I can move that in. Sorry, I accidentally cut off the video. But you can see basically this is a bracket that goes around, and then it has two bolts. You can kind of see this is all one piece in there. It's a little bit hard to see. So what I'm going to do is put a spacer in between this bracket and that back this frame, well, pylon structure, remember, whatever you want to call it. And then what that'll do is bring the bottom of this out, and then make that angle hopefully match closer to what the deck will be. So that's my plan. So we'll see how it turns out. I'll do another video later to show how that worked out. So I've got a spacer in there, so this angle is roughly the same as these two now. And I pulled the pylon out, and so I could show you down in here, this part, this is basically that piece that holds the bottom of the pylon, and I'm gonna put a spacer so this sticks out, in between that part and the surface, so that will go towards the front of the boat and increase that angle. So here's what it looks like with the pylon in there, and got just a little bit of an angle like that, about 2 degrees, which now makes this top, the top of that, match that angle. So here you can see the spacer that I have down here now, if I can point to it. This wood spacer between this bracket that holds the bottom of the pylon and then this aluminum part. And I actually cut it so it's at about a 2-degree angle, because that's about the angle that's going to be. So this will hold it kind of nice and flush. Slight angle up, so that way the pylon should fit in there nicely. And I like having a wooden spacer actually in between this aluminum and this. I'm not sure what kind of metal this is. It's some kind of a, I don't know if it's got a chrome coating on it, but that way, since I have wood now, I won't have to worry about galvanic corrosion between those two with the dissimilar metals in case any water gets down in there. So I do like that. So that is what it's looking like. I can kind of show from this angle over here. You can see that spacer. I'm going to have to use longer bolts here and on the other side, which I actually have two, fortunately. They're all aluminum bolts to kind of match the aluminum square tubing. So I'll show what it looks like with the pylon in just a second. So here you can see this showing 1.7 degrees, this I think around 1.5 or 6, okay, 1.4. So these two should be about the same, but close enough. So that's 1.7, I put that on there. That's roughly, it's within a degree, so I'm not gonna, that's close enough there, it's 1.7. So that's much better. I like that much better. And one thing that I didn't mention, and of course it's hard to show, maybe I'll take that off so I can show what I did to hold this pylon back. So this is how it ended up. I think I talked about this in an earlier video where I repurposed some extra, the ends of some extra straps I had for the gas tank. And so I've got those, obviously it's not tight. And so I've got one of these on each side that they stick out. And so what that does, what I'm gonna do is I'll get a stainless bolt that'll squeeze these two together, which then holds that just tightly back to this back plate right here. So that is how that turned out. So you can see that. These will, of course, line up. So there we have it.